What's up, what's up? Welcome to a brand new episode of All Over Voiceover with Kiff VH. I'm your host, Kiff VH, and I am writing for the past 6 years. Stan Lee has had a con called Kamikaze, and I've been doing a live panel there called Voice NATO. But this year, I also, because of this show, I did a live episode of this show. So on this panel, I had some familiar names from All Over Voiceover. Cissy Jones and Amanda Troop and G.K. Bose were with us. And also we were joined by the lovely and talented Larissa Gallagher, who will be introduced within the context of the podcast. Enough of me talking. Here is our conversation. All Over Voiceover with Kiff.
Thank you guys for being here.
Amen. Let me turn the music on. There we go. My name is Kiff Vandenheuvel. I am your host for this. Your host. I'm your personal host for today's panel. And I'm the host of the show All Over Voiceover with Kiff. Just by a round of applause or show of hands. Let's do show of hands because there's a baby who's quiet. But they're fine. Perfect. Show of hands, how many of you guys have heard the show or listened to the show or have seen it?
Cool.
Wow, awesome. Fantastic. If you're interested in the show, please check it out. It's for free. Or make it for you. And if you're interested in voiceover, there's a lot of great resources. Just to let you know a little bit about me, I was recently in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Netflix's Richie Rich. I played Comstock in BioShock Infinite. Star Wars, The Old Republic, I was Skavik. I'm sorry I stole your ship. I've done stuff in Warcraft. I played Walter, Season 2 of The Walking Dead. And I've just found out that I'll be recurring on This Is Us on NBC. I said one line this past Tuesday, and I found out that I'm recurring, so that's cool.
That's great.
And I played a chauvinist on Parks and Recreation. My guests on the panel, first off, we have Amanda Troop is here with us.
Hello.
Amanda, you want to tell us what you've done? I have your credits on the screen, but you can't see.
You can do it.
All right, I'll give you the overview. She's recently performed in Batman Unlimited as Gladys Winsmere. She's also been heard in Lego Dimensions and seen on CSI. She did ADR on Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, I did that. Sorry.
That's all right. What else?
I did that this summer because I didn't know you were going to list that. I did that this summer, and I was in Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, as like some creatures. You know, the scene at the beginning when, has everyone seen it?
Star Trek Beyond?
Okay.
Spoiler.
Well, there's a scene at the beginning where there are creatures, and I'm some of them. And I did that Legend of Tarzan movie. I voice matched for Jane in that this summer.
Oh,
so all that this summer, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great summer.
Yeah. And then I got things next year that I can't talk about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind of things.
I mean, they are, but I guess we can talk about that later. But
yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, Nevermind is a video game, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. It's a really cool VR video game that helps you deal with psychological issues through video gaming.
Oh, wow.
It helps you deal with past trauma.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. You could
Nevermind.
also find Amanda in Banff Heroines Club, which is a YouTube series, yeah?
Banff Girls Club.
Banff Girls Club.
Banff Heroines Club is the fancier version.
That's something
I wasn't in that one. That one's really nice.
And you can also see her on camera in Wilfred and Children's Hospital. Amanda Troop, thank you so much for joining us, Amanda. Directly to my left, the lovely, the talented Cissy Jones. If you haven't played Firewatch, you're missing out on just a wonderful game and wonderful performance. I'm such a huge fan of Firewatch. It's so awesome. And Cissy's also done a ton of work on The Walking Dead Telltale series, different variants of that series too, yeah?
Yeah, I've done 9 characters and counting.
Wow.
In that franchise. Yeah, so it's been fun.
So awesome. Also work in Fallout 4. And Adrift with an I, and Mafia 3 that just came out, which is really freaking cool. Naruto Shippuden. Shippuden. Sorry. And
Naruto.
I pulled these off of IMDb. I never do this in our show, so this is an awkward part of the show for me, where I'm describing your credits.
We're really glad you're doing it and that we're not.
Yeah.
She's also appeared in Lego Marvel Avengers and Lego Dimensions, among many other things.
Fun
Cissy
fact
Jones.
about Marvel
Yes.
Lego Avengers. I mean, I don't want to say Stan Lee and I are best friends or anything.
What?
But I actually, when I went in to record for that session, I was 7 months pregnant, and he was just leaving his recording session, and I totally sat on the same stool that he did, you guys. We've shared butt heat. Anyway.
Sharing butt heat with Stan Lee.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag it.
Do you think that imbued your child with extra talent?
She is awesome.
Yeah.
She is made of awesome.
Great.
So I'm just saying.
That's awesome. Yay, Cissy Jones is with us. Awesome, Cissy. At the far end of the table, the lovely, the talented GK Bose. GK, you've heard her on Sophia the First, Special Agent Oso, just wonderful Disney shows, and Mortal Kombat. You played Jade in Mortal Kombat, right?
I did not do Jade. I don't know why they credited me as Jade, but I forgot what I did. I did something else, yeah. But I was in Mortal Kombat.
That's awesome. Did you do performance capture and stuff in that too?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they used, well, and then they used, not for Mortal, but for the Bioshock game that you were in, too, they used my face for the character.
Which character?
That chick.
The one that looks like her,
chick.
The one chick?
Somebody quick do a Google search.
Through all the characters that I know.
I can't even remember. I know.
That's all right.
Yeah, but that's why we're glad you're doing this and not.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what did I do? I don't remember. But yeah, that was fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. Also, Metal Gear Solid, Dying Light, Minecraft Story Mode, which is exciting. In particular, my daughter, who's a complete and total Minecraft fan.
That was fun.
Guild Wars 3, Street Fighter 5, and the Alpha and Omega series.
Yeah.
Yay. GK, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And finally, the lovely, the talented Larissa Gallagher is here with us today. You know her from Monsters High, where she plays Laguna Blue, which is an amazing character, and also in Firewatch as well. And Mad Max Fury Road, was that the game, or was that the picture? Did you do...
No, yeah, I was the voice of one of the little white boys, one of the war boys, one of the younger ones right at the end. So.
Oh, my God, that's awesome. That movie...
It was a great movie.
I can talk all day about that movie. Bubble Guppy. What is Bubble Guppies?
Bubble Guppies is a Nick Jr. show where it's basically 5 little guppy kids by nature. And, they go on adventures and do different things. And one of the episodes was set in... Well, I did a few episodes on that. One of them was set in Australia, and so, because I'm Australian. And if you didn't know. So I did kind of the characters there. But then, they always have like a little adventure every week. So I played a leopard seal and different,
Oh, that's awesome. What a blast, dude. Also, Crayola Bubbles. And Elseworld Online, which is what's that?
Well, it's like a multiplayer,
very
fantasy
cool.
game online, and I couldn't tell you which characters I played, but
Yes.
there's about 20 of them somewhere in there, screaming, yelling, dying, whatever.
Awesome, Larissa Gallagher, thank you so much for being here. Awesome. That's done with the with clicking through stuff. So I just want to thank all of you guys for coming here and sitting at this big white table and talking about this stuff. How did you guys get sort of what led you to voiceover in the first place? Have you always been interested in performance, or was it something that came to you? What did you guys do? How did you get into it?
I started, like most people do in voiceover, I have my degree in microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics from UCLA. I worked as a microbiologist and molecular geneticist and decided, screw this, I want to do funny voices for a living. So, much to my Asian tiger mom's chagrin, I started taking acting classes and just really focused on voiceover work. And for me personally, on camera was something that I was never really interested in. I was strictly all about voiceover. And I knew that's like where my heart was and where I felt most comfortable. Was, like, I'm a closet actor, so I literally get to act in a closet as a voiceover actor. Like, nobody gets to see me or has to see me. And so it's just been fantastic. And that was kind of my my segue, just looking through a microscope and it's like, what the am I doing? I don't want to be here. I want to do some fun stuff. So yeah.
When you say you were a closet actor, like it was just something that you kind of always wanted to do, and that led you, and then you took a practical route. Do you feel from the macrobiology, that particular? I'm so completely off on what
science
you did
geeky, stuff. Yeah.
Like what? Was that something that was inside of you, and then you made a decision that took you away from it, or you just kind of didn't really think about it until you realized it was something that you wanted to do?
I remember watching The Little Mermaid when I was, the Disney movie. I was like 8 years old. Like, that is what I want to do when I grow up. And, I just never knew how to do it. I had to, please my parents and go to school, and, I was just on my way to becoming a doctor. And that just the dream had stuck with me ever since I was a little girl. I wanted to be a My Little Pony. I knew there was something, with the characters, like a lot of the cartoons I watched, I always knew that there was a human. Like, even as a child, I knew the characters weren't real. I just always knew there was some kind of human doing the voice. And that's what I wanted to do.
You were way smarter than me.
So I just, that's what I want to do. I don't know how they do it or who does it, but yeah, it was my dream to be a Disney mermaid someday. And I got to be. I'm Melinda the Mermaid on Doc McStuffin, so that was super. I'm like, I'm a Disney mermaid, yay! And just recently, I can share this. I found out I'm Polynesian, and like when I found out they were doing Moana, it's like, oh my God, come on, you guys, Disney, just give me something. Right. So I found out that I get to be a teensy-weensy little part of the franchise itself. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So dreams do come true. You go get your degree first, and then you can do this. But get the degree first.
I actually have a business degree and a Spanish degree. And I spent 10 years in the Silicon Valley doing 120-hour work weeks. And it was one of those days where, like, my alarm clock went off in the morning to get ready for work, and the first thought that went through my head was, and I heard Nancy Cartwright on the radio talking about a voiceover school, and I was like, hello? Because I had always wanted to be a voice on a cartoon as well. Like, I remember when I was about 6, and I realized that Scooby-Doo had black lines around him, and that meant he wasn't a real person. Yeah. Or a dog. And I told my dad, I think I want to be an actor. My dad was like, no. So I did the adulting thing for a while, and was okay at it, but hated it. And then found voiceover and took classes for 2 years, and like really dove in and left my job and moved to LA, and here we are.
That's marvelous. You other guys, I had a similar experience where it was just something that you couldn't do from where I was. It was just, that's not an option for you to chase this path. What was your guys' path, Larissa?
I kind of started more what people would expect a traditional kind of path. I started as a ballet dancer, and then when I got to 16, 17, I decided I like to eat more than dance, and so I was like, but I still want to be on stage, what can I do? So then I went into musical theatre and did singing and dancing, and went to, I actually got accepted into a performing arts school called WAPA, which is where Hugh Jackman went to. He left the year before I started, damn it, but that's all right. And so I kind of did the traditional path, and then I went out to become an actor and became a call center operator to make money. So, and I did enough work as an actor out there, like, I'd get a big job that would last for, 3 months on stage, and then I'd go back to working in a call center, and I spent about 6-7 years doing that, and I said, I'm done. I can't, I don't want to work in a call centre. So I gave it all up, and I said, I'm done. And I went back home to Perth, and then I met my lovely husband, who's in the audience, who is American, and moved over to America, but with no intention. Like, I'd given up. I'm done. This is awful. I'm not successful. This isn't something... And then we kind of were doing some silly invitation stuff and doing voiceover things. And I'd done voiceover in Australia as well. But again, when I just wasn't making enough money, I said, this is it, I'm done. Yeah. And then he, had heard that, and then he happened to go on a run one day and heard my voiceover demo and came home and said, you need to go and do that. And I was like, oh, but what if it doesn't work and I'm going to have a, breakdown? It's going to be the worst. And he was like, it's all right, just go and do it, see how you go. And then, I was like, well, I'm in America, so let's go and make it happen. And and luckily, I mean, sometimes you take the path that you think is right for you, even if everything is pointing to, yes, be an actor, yes, do this, and just that particular stream of musical theatre and wasn't where I was obviously meant to be. And then when I found voiceover, it was like Tetris, and everything just kind of went, and then, and I was in DC at the time, and I moved to LA, and then, I landed an agent really quickly. But it was, but I was 5 years old dancing on stage as a little sugar plum fairy, so I did the long way, gave it up, and then came back. So that was my journey.
Wow, that's fascinating to have it and then be like, I'm through with it.
Yeah.
But then that push from someone of like, no, you have the skill. Why are you not why not use it?
Yeah, and I think sometimes like your emotions or, the mom or dad in the background, which is, it's sensible and it's logical. If I'm skilled in this one area, but I'm not making money or I'm not making a career, why am I wasting time trying desperately to do this? But, sometimes there is that quality that's above and beyond, or you got to that place for a reason, or signs have been pointing there for a reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to push over that, that next little level to get to where you need to be. But it was pretty heartbreaking for a little while, but, I'm all okay now.
That's great. Amanda, what was your process? What was your story?
Well, I was in a class at a community theater when I was 11, and I had a moment in front of the audience where I was like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. And so in high school, people would say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I want to be in movies, of course. And but I had no idea how to do that. And so at the time, I thought, okay, so you go to high school, and then you go to college, and you get a degree, and then you go and you get your acting job. They just hand them out when you're done. And then when I was 19, I had a lunch with a former agent who was like, yeah, so this is how the industry works. And I went, oh no. What have I done? So I quit acting for like a month. And I mean, I hadn't even started acting. I was still in college. I hadn't done anything. I did community theater, and like that was it. And so I was like, well, it's obviously too hard. And I threw myself into women's studies. And and then I just got so depressed. I just hated not being an actor. And so I called my mom and dad, and I said, Mom, Dad, at the end of this semester, I'm moving to Los Angeles. And they were like, okay, well, we'll help you however we can. And I went, what? That's not how this story goes. And so I felt this like real drive to make it work, because my parents were like, we believe in you. Let's see if this can work. So when I moved out here, I just like went at it as hard as I could. And I wanted to be on camera. I wanted to be on, in movies, on TV. And when I came to voiceover, it was sort of like, oh yeah, I like that too. I've always listened to books on tape. I've always watched cartoon shows. I didn't realize that was part of an acting career. Mm-hmm. And my eyes started to open to that. And when I signed with CEST, which was an exciting story as well, it was at a time where I was like almost ready to quit the business because I'd been at it for so long. And there are ups and downs, of course, and the downs were getting me down. And then I started doing animation, voiceover, video games and stuff, and it just reinvigorated everything. And I love doing it. Like, you get to play so many characters that you wouldn't get to play otherwise. And I think that aspect's really great. So I feel blessed to be part of this community. I think voiceover actors are really incredible and grounded and compassionate, and
we are pretty awesome.
Yeah, like seriously. And so it's it's been uplifting ever since the voiceover thing began.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What what I heard, like one consistency that I've heard in just about everybody's story too is like, I made the decision and now I'm working. And I've always felt like that space is this kind of like hashed section in a calendar that's blocked. That's like, oh, this is the Rocky training montage. And while that's awesome, I'm really curious about the specific character of that for each of you. What, for people who are interested in getting into this work, what steps were in your path through the snow? Who were some of those signposts, you know what I mean? Like either trainers or workshops or things like that. And you know, how does that, what was that like?
Well, that's going to be great for the podcast.
Yeah.
Long
I would say
silence.
for me, it was just the absolute epiphany that if this doesn't work out, I'm going to be bagging groceries at Trader Joe's because I'm not going back to corporate. But I'm also coming at it from a business point of view, so understanding the business side of it, knowing that the average booking ratio for a national union commercial is 150 auditions to one booking, right? So there's a whole lot of stuff that you're sending out into the universe that you will never hear back about, and it's a whole lot of rejection, and deal with it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will die in this industry and the industry will move on. But also realizing where I was taking classes that made a difference with me. Like, if you nail a read, you get goosebumps. And making sure that the people that you're working with, the classes that you're taking, the stuff that you're doing to make yourself a better actor, you get that feeling. Because there's a whole lot of people out there that will take your money for a lot of money. But for me, it's a business. It's running it like a business and understanding, for me, that's what works.
And I found, because when I kind of started in the American market as such, I was in DC, and at the time there was no agents, there was no voiceover classes, there was nothing, you know. And I think like anything that you do in your life that you suddenly become, this is it, this is what I want, you know, you research. And so I went online and I immersed, because I can't tell you how much free training, podcasts, classes, you know, there is so much stuff that you can watch and learn online, and it's overwhelming at first, and you know, newsletters that you can sign up for and everything. But what you find is that once you immerse, again, like anything, once you get a little bit of information, you start going, oh, that's crap. Oh, those people aren't, you know, or you research the people and it's like, oh, that person did one job in Hollywood 30 years ago. I don't know if I want to be listening to them about how to break into animation voiceover in LA now, you know. Right. So you kind of, that's how I did it, you know, and there's something called, which I found when I was researching called, oh, no, I can't remember.
Voiceover Resource Guide online?
It was Voiceover Resource Guide.
Yeah.
What's the one where everyone's demos are on it?
Voice Bank.
Voice
Voice
Bank.
Bank,
Yeah.
Voice Bank.
So
yeah.
Voice Bank, which has like the demos, or every agency is listed and all the demos of all the people. So I kind of went through and just randomly were listening to people, and it was like, who do I like? Where? What do they sound like? You know, and then kind of I reached out to a couple of people. Like I found their websites and just emailed and said, hey, I'm just starting out. Is there, you know, would you recommend someone to get a demo done by, or who did your demo? I really like it. You know, and unlike any cold call, I think like, you know, 20 of them probably disappeared down the toilet. But, you know, a couple of people responded to me, and that was enough to kind of, you know, and once the ball rolled, it just kind of started avalanching. So, I mean, that's more like the kind of the starting out, and then there's, you know, then there is classes and getting work online and all of that, but I'll let other people.
That's really great. And and Voice Bank is such a remarkable resource. When you first realize that and then start like, just when I'm teaching, I'll usually like do a little thing on Voice Bank where it's like, give me a celebrity. And then you conjure it up and someone's like, Sam Elliott. Okay. Type in Sam Elliott and it's, you know, Dodge. And you're like, oh, that's Sam Elliott's real.
Yeah.
That's his actual marketing for it, and everybody's stuff is up, and it's so, the resources that are available now are limitless.
And then, if I may add to that,
Please.
you kind of you find a celebrity and you listen and you go, what? That's what they're putting. I can do better than that. But then you hear someone else, and it's like, whoa, I need to really work to get to that. But it's great because you do have a great range of being able to get a good sense of where you sit in the world and how much work you need to do to get to where you want to be, I suppose. Yeah.
I think because I'm thinking about that scratched out, blacked out area in our calendars between jobs, and I think that is definitely something that as actors we don't necessarily shine a light on because it's not glamorous, but it's like sitting for half a day listening to demos until your ears are bleeding, but you're happy because you're like, wow, there's so much to learn, or writing cold emails, or thinking of new ways to market yourself, or signing up for another class, or checking in with your agents and going, hey, am I doing everything I should be doing? Like even being on this panel is part of us being active in our careers, and it's always this active nature that gets you to the next job, because our jobs are, sometimes we're lucky and they're sequential days in a row, and sometimes it's a lot rarer. Yeah, and so it's the work that you do on the days that you're not working that is the real work of being an actor, and it's not glamorous. It's not like it's kind of nerdy, repetitive practice. Yeah. And being unafraid and introducing yourself to people that you think are, I read an article that said the best thing you can do is whenever you're in a room, put yourself next to the smartest person and then just do what they do. Like just look at whoever's better than you in the room and just go stand next to them and just copy everything they're doing. Yeah. And so that's basically, I think, what we all try. We all strive to be like, oh, I want to work with this person now. I want to get there. Yeah.
I would also add to that. I had an agent tell me once that your job as a voice actor is not to perform the job well, because once you've been booked and you're at the job, you're already going to get the paycheck. Your job is to audition well, and that's all unpaid. Yeah. So, trying to figure out how to best maximize yourself at the job today in the booth by yourself.
That's our job as voice actors, is auditioning every day.
Yeah.
As often as we possibly can. That's all we do. We spend so much time auditioning, and then when we get the job, and then when we get the job, we actually get the booking. That's what we get paid for. All those weeks of auditioning and things. But like Cissy hit the nail on the head. Like this is a business. It's not show art. It's show business, and you have to treat it as such. We don't sit by our phones and just wait for our agents to call. Right. We are actively doing things, like Amanda said, every day. Like, this is part of what the work that we put in when we are not in an actual paid session is. It's incessant. It's every day. Right. And you will learn. Like Larissa was saying, who those people are that will guide you in the right direction without blowing smoke up your butt and telling everybody that they're great. You will have those teachers that will just take your money. Oh, you're great. Keep going. Keep paying me. You'll get there. You'll get there. You really have to, be careful out there, because there are people out there that will just take your money and keep telling you to keep paying them. And, we were, I think all of us, like especially you, Bob Bergen was instrumental in my career, and my husband loves him because Bob was finally the person who said, you don't need to take any more classes, and my husband's like, thank you, because it gets expensive, and just like any business, you do kind of have to be prepared to pay your dues. It's not cheap either. Demos costs, now like $2,000 just for one demo. You can, if you have friends that can, let you use their studio or whatever, you might be able to get down that cost. But you have to pay for demos, you have to pay for classes, you have to pay for, classes and
then fuel for your car.
But the beautiful thing about voiceover is that you can do it from anywhere. You don't have to be in LA anymore.
Right.
For some of it.
For some of it.
For some of it.
For most of the commercial and promo work, you can do from anywhere. Animation and stuff, you pretty much have to be here, in movies and things like that. But it's such a it is an investment. You got to get the home set up, the microphone, the computer, and all that fun stuff that a lot of people just don't think about.
Yeah.
They think, I want to do voiceover. I'm like, okay, are you prepared to shell out $5,000 up front?
That's my favorite is people going, oh, well, I do on camera, but my agent said I should do voiceover just for some extra cash.
Right.
Good luck with that.
Let me know how that works out for you.
It's an adjacent career. It completely is. If you happen to be an on-camera person who bumps into VO because of your on-camera work, that's awesome. But as something that you have to build from the ground up, it's a time investment, and it's that it's just learning curve. Like something as simple as learning Audacity or whatever, or Twisted Wave, or how to record in GarageBand. You need to have some basic self-recording skills that I keep running into people going, I don't know how to edit, and I really would rather pay someone to do that. Like, no, not on a daily basis.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya. Good luck. It's not hard. It's word
Are you
processing.
independently wealthy?
Right. Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then fine.
You know what? I do think, though, that if you're thinking, I want to try this, that it is a really good time, technology-wise, to do a very cheap trial. You can get a pretty okay USB mic for about $100, and you can get free editing software on your computer. And you can listen to cartoon shows and commercials and try to copy them, practice, listen back, go, oh, do I like this? Do I like listening to myself? Some people say, oh, I can't listen to myself. It's like, well, you're going to be doing that a lot. So, but for that amount of money, you can at least go, okay, I'm going to give this like a month, and I'm going to just practice. I'm going to just see if I like this, see if I have any potential. Maybe reach out to a friend or two and say, hey, listen to this. Is this good? Should I ask a professional about this, or should I just do this as a hobby for myself? And so I think that that's a really cool thing now.
Yeah.
Because even when I started doing it, it was like you had to get an inbox, you had to get all these other pieces of tech to connect your microphone to your computer, and now it's just plug and play. It's so easy. I can record high quality audio with a microphone that's this big that I bought for like $190 that I can plug into my iPhone now.
Is that your Apogee? Do you use
it's a Apogee mic.
yeah.
M, capital M, little I, capital C.
Uh-huh.
I'm not getting paid for that endorsement, but it is a great mic. But like if you're going to be serious, like yes, it is an investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a fun side career. It is a full career.
Right.
And then on top of that is that even now when, like, GK was saying, you get to a point where you don't do as many classes, but it's kind of like college. You go to college and you finish college, but it doesn't mean okay, great, I'm done. I'm now out working, I mean, I'll still go and do, sometimes they have like a meet the casting director, and so you can learn from the casting director of Disney or from Nickelodeon or, from wherever, video game or blah, blah, blah. And in addition, like once a week, I do a workout with some of the people on this panel. And, and so we get together and we work on scripts and we direct each other and we tell. So even now that we are working, we are still working. So and I think that's, especially now when this, this realm of celebrities are getting a lot of the voiceover work and everything, you really need to be as good as you can possibly be. And the best way to do that is to keep going even when you're getting the work, because it can start and stop in an instant. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Are there any questions in the audience? Do we have a microphone over there? I'm recording this to replay on the podcast, so if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask.
If you want to be on a podcast, ask a question.
It's a chance to practice your mic technique.
That's right.
Can I actually now?
Yes,
because,
please.
And that just made me think of something as well that which kind of I suppose goes back a little bit to what my journey over here, or like quitting and starting again or whatever. Yeah. But I actually heard, and I can't remember who said it, but it was at a meet the casting director session that I went to, where this the lady basically said that even when she's getting auditions from people she will have to wait until she has heard, like she'll go, oh, that's a great audition. That person's fantastic. I don't know who they are. I'm going to write their name down over here. And when that name pops up 5 times, I'm going to bring that person in. So just because you're not getting callbacks or just because you're not getting the job, you have no idea who's out there writing your name down on that list. And I think that's something to say for the keep going, keep pushing. If you're getting good feedback, if your coaches are saying you're great, if you're getting enough work here and there, it's worth keep going because you could be at number 4 of the 5 of doing amazing auditions. And but it's
That's
just
great.
that, feeling of we need to trust you and know that you're going to be good in the room and that you're always going to be good rather than just a one-off thing. So.
I just got forwarded an email from my agent on a booking that I got, and it was like an email chain, and she forwarded it, and I don't even know if she did it on purpose, but at the bottom it was a note from the casting director that said, 3rd time's the charm. And you go, what does that mean? In what context is 3rd time's the charm? Does that mean the agency? Does that mean... It couldn't have been the agency because they're booking all the time. So maybe it was like I got close. Maybe it was me. But part of you doesn't dare think that way either.
Right.
You know?
Or maybe the attachment failed to attach, and then it was the 3rd time.
I think that's actually what it was.
I mean, no, it's totally because you booked it. I'm sorry.
No. I think it actually is probably because of the attachment. Because truthfully, a comment like that is the only thing that really makes sense. Thank you. I also still
You're
believe
still
in
amazing,
Santa.
Kiff.
But the
I feel like this image of Kiff as a little cloud just deflating and like zooming across the room.
dude, I still got the job. Right?
It does, at this point, it can mean anything.
How do you? Well, that's funny. That idea of like the deflation. Like I know for me, I've had to redefine my notion of success. The idea of success being, oh my God, I booked it, to, oh my God, my agent sent my audition in. To, oh my God, I have an audition. What do you guys? What is that? How does that manifest itself for you, or what have you discovered?
I would say for me, when I got into VO, I really wanted animation. Which is not to say I don't still really want it.
Yeah.
But now I'm working as a woman on trailers, which is awesome. So for me, that's huge. Or, doing commercials nationally or locally or regularly. It's not as glamorous, but it pays a lot of bills.
Yes.
And it gets your name out there so that when, someone does Google to see who is this person that's sending in this thing, there's not some random picture of me in like high school.
Yay! I listen to a lot of podcasts and read a lot of inspirational blogs. I feel like you just need to know that before I say the next thing I'm about to say, which is, for me, I've found that if I put my feelings of self-worth, my feelings of success, of having made it on the other side of achievement, that I never get there. Because after I achieve any job, any booking, I'm immediately going after the next booking. So for me, what I try is to feel like I love acting. I love doing what I do and the people I do it with, and I surround myself with people who are people that build me up, lift me up, that don't cut each other down, and that's how I know I am being successful in my life, because I try to surround myself with people who are also trying to live their best lives by being happy in the now, and not looking to the future. And I think it's very hard in this industry, because each time you get a job, it's like Pavlov ringing the bell. You're like, oh boy, I'm successful. And it's very, you get you get a buzz, and you're like, you go buy yourself a piece of clothing. You're like, yeah, I'm really making it now. You call your mom, I'm going, Mom. And then it goes away. And the more times the bell rings, the faster it goes away. And so at some point you have to go, okay, that's external self-esteem. I need to have internal self-esteem. Make sure that that's maintained. Do what needs to be done to take care of that.
I would like to retract everything I just said and what she said.
All right, so we'll stop it there for this episode, and we'll have the second half posting in a couple days, and hope you enjoy it, and look forward to sharing the rest of the conversation with you. Peace. Thank you for joining us on All Over Voiceover with Kiff VH. Please take a moment to review the show and let other folks know what you thought. And if you dug it, please subscribe. Follow the show on Twitter at AllOverVO and check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/AllOverVO with Kiff VH. That's it for this time. You get what you get and don't get upset. Claim victory and depart the field.